Hello and welcome to a brief tutorial on how to upload and edit and modify the settings of lists within Klaviyo, presented by Zach from Sandhill Digital. So without further ado, let's hop into Klaviyo. As you'll see, I'm already in the system and I'm going to navigate to Audience, have it drop down and click Lists and Segments. Now, I feel as you guys are pretty savvy already, I'm sure. You're going to understand that if we were in an account that was not internal agency, we would have lots of lists and segments here, and from here you would navigate between different pages, or you could filter for just lists. But we're going to create a list for today. We're going to say create list. We're going to call it testing 1, 2, 3. How original. We can assign it a tag. Not that's going to be really applicable here, but let's just do one for kicks and giggles. And your first two options here are going to be a form or a subscribe page, which a subscribe page is essentially a form embedded, which makes it a landing page. So for these, when you have forms on your website, anywhere somebody has a field for email or phone number and they click submit via a button, that will synchronize with a list. So think of these two entities as directly corresponding to each other. So lists and forms, they communicate with each other. They go back and forth. The fourth option down here is a quick add, and that is just adding one person manually. So you have to just do a quick add really quickly. This is what you do here, and you fill in all the fields. Otherwise, there is the upload context, which is probably the more prevalent way of adding things to a list that's already in existence or creating a new list. I will say that members of lists also come in through the checkout portals on e-commerce platforms such as Shopify, so that's another thing to consider. And with that, we're going to just upload context though to show you guys how it works. So I already have a fake list here just so you can get an idea of how things work. So when you click that list, it's going to auto-populate based on the headers in that spreadsheet. And I will note that you have to have a CSV format spreadsheet in order for it to upload in Klaviyo. And you're going to want to have clear and defined headers as well. So first name, last name, phone number, email, things of that nature. You get the gist there. And you can see that sort of populating over here. And what will happen is, in some occasions, suppose there's more integrations and there are more profile identifiers, there may be fields that Klaviyo does not understand how to map over because the headers were not clearly defined, or it's a identifier that they're just not used to. In that case, you would either select from the list here, and mind you, this list can get larger the more integrations you have and the more robust your account, or you can create a new field, which I've done before as well. So maybe it wasn't understanding IP address. I may make a new field called IP address. In the future, this would populate as an option for lists and segments. But we're not going to do that for right now. We're just going to be happy and see that everything mapped over correctly. But just remember that it may not always be that case. You're going to click next. From here is a very important step. You want to make sure that these people you were importing have explicitly said, yes, I want to subscribe. A lot of times people upload lists from other entities, maybe lists they purchase, which is a big no-no, but they may get them from sweepstakes. So these people are sort of flaky, perhaps, and they didn't really go through the proper methods of subscribing and explicitly giving consent. And you're going to want to be mindful of that here. So you can say no import without updating subscription status. So maybe you're importing this into Klaviyo so that it can be utilized in some type of paid media, paid social strategy play. Or you can maybe just have them in there because in some rare occasions you can have a list of people who did not explicitly consent that you imported, and you can send them a one-off email saying, do you want to consent to marketing and receive emails from us? I would say if they don't interact with that, then you have to unsubscribe them. Otherwise, we're just going to say yes, update the subscription status of all imported to subscribe. You can choose that between email and SMS because some lists may have both information on them. So you'd click import. For this, we're not going to do that right now. I want to show you a couple more things on a list and how it functions. You have sign-up forms, which is if those were already populating on your website, and in Klaviyo, you can select them here. You have the subscribe and preference pages, which we're going to elaborate on another tutorial. You have your imports history. You have your list growth, which is the metrics here, which is pretty fancy and very insightful. And you also have your engagement, which you run an engagement report, and you can also get a lot of really cool insights here as well. Settings, I will quickly go over. Once again, you can rename it. You can give it a list ID. You can do consent, and I would say always click unsubscribe from all future emails. And then opt-in process, I would always say keep double opt-in on. And integrations, you can have your integrations here as well if you need to integrate them on the fly. And that's the short and easy version of lists in Klaviyo. I hope you've enjoyed it.